It has been more than 3 weeks since paramedics administered CPR on a person experiencing cardiac arrest at Senator Mitch McConnell's home, according to dispatcher audio. That very same day, the senator was hospitalized. And since then, since June 14th, Mitch McConnell has not been seen or heard from publicly, and rumors are flying. Staffers for the 84-year-old Kentucky senator have declined most media inquiries and given few updates. Today, Senate Majority Leader John Thune and his deputy John Barrasso said in separate statements they had spoken with McConnell by phone, but they didn't elaborate on his condition or prognosis. McConnell announced last year he'd be retiring in January 2027, so this is his last term. He's not running for re-election. But even if he departs his seat early for whatever reason, Kentucky Republicans have put into place a plan to make sure they hold it. So back in 2021, the Republicans in the state legislature passed a law saying that if a senator died or left office, the Democratic governor, Andy Beshear, would have to appoint someone from the senator's own party to replace him. Then in 2024, they took away Beshear's power to replace outgoing senators altogether, mandating a special election instead, though it remains unclear if Beshear would actually follow that law or challenge it. Barbara Boxer served as 4 terms as a Democratic senator from California, and she joins me now. It's great to have you on. I know you worked in the Senate, obviously, where Mitch McConnell was. I want to just start by your understanding, because I've covered politics for a while. It does seem like it happens fairly often now that a member of Congress, House, Senate, Republican or Democrat, has some medical issue and just kind of disappears for weeks with no explanation. And I understand the imperative for privacy, but it does seem that if you're in one of those offices, there is a little bit of a requirement for some public communication about your condition. Do you think that's fair?
Chris, I think you're way too soft on this issue. This is a public office. You know, you're very sweet. This is a public office. We don't work in the private sector. And you need to just get out there with the truth. And I am stunned at what has been going on. And I don't think that the people should stand for it. If we have to pass some kind of rule of the Senate, if you're gone more than a few days, you better explain yourself. I remember when I was running for the Senate while I served in the House, I missed several votes because I was campaigning. I had to be honest. And if people were annoyed with me, I totally got it. But, you know, Patty Murray recently broke her ankle. She's in the Democratic leadership. She's from the state of Washington. And she immediately, as soon as she could, got a picture of herself with a funny message, a T-shirt, and showed her leg. This is what it's about. And so, yeah, I don't understand it. It's awful and it's wrong. There's a public service of being paid by the public. And, you know, if you were in the private sector, you'd have to report to your CEO if something happened to you. Well, the people, they're the CEOs of America, you know, so get with it. It's wrong. I don't care who you are.
You know, one of the other reasons I want to speak to you, someone who I have a lot of admiration and respect for, is that you served for 4 terms in California, and then you stopped. You said, I've done enough. And you know that's a precedent I feel like maybe more people could take up. You know, Mitch McConnell was, I guess, 78 when he ran for re-election. There are senators who run for re-election at 78, and they run at 80, at 82. And you know, I think there is a real feeling in America that there's a kind of gerontocracy thing happening here. And you start to run up against these real thorny medical issues and questions of incapacitation that are difficult for everyone.
Yes, and of course you can get sick when you're young. So I don't like ageism, but I do think there's a point at which you have to say goodbye. Now, I went through such a difficult time when I talked to Senator Feinstein when she was just going downhill, and I was asked to talk with her to really encourage her. What an incredible legacy she had, and it was being destroyed because, you know, people would just see her going downhill. She got really mad at me when I called her, and she said, "This is my work, this is my calling." And, you know, if Mitch McConnell were to call me, which he won't, I would tell him what I told her. A, there's life after the Senate. B, it feels good to get out when you still, you know, you're functional and do something else and help other people. And yeah, I couldn't succeed with Dianne. I tried. It didn't work.
There's also here the context of the power play here. I don't think anyone is necessarily. I mean, I don't think Kentucky would be a swing state in a Senate election. I think it's largely expected to be safe blue. Yeah. But, you know, the Republican state legislature has gone to incredible lengths to make sure that the Democratic and democratically elected statewide governor of Kentucky, Andy Beshear, who's in his second term and is quite popular, it's not like he's some fluke, right? That he doesn't get to do the thing that other governors before him would have been able to do, which be to appoint a replacement if McConnell had to leave the term early for some reason.
I call that an abuse of power. I think it's very disrespectful to the people who elected Andy Beshear. And I hope the people there wake up and vote for Democrats and walk away from this party. That's all about power, all about secrecy, you know, all about taking a wrecking ball to everything we've held dear. So, yeah, I mean, these things are all converging as we get to the midterms, and we should think about all of them.
One more question, because you mentioned this, just to go back. You mentioned the point that you can get sick at any age, and that's a really important reality, and sadly one that I think a lot of us, as we get into our 30s and 40s, encounter. Tom Keene, who is not at all an old man in any way, took a leave for what he said was depression. He came back and he explained it. But again, he was gone for 40 days, 50 days, something like that. No explanation. Nothing from his staff, sort of, we'll tell you when we get back. I mean, this was even longer than the McConnell thing. I've never seen anything like it. For an unexplained medical absence, like he was building up for some big reveal at the end of it. That was a strange one, wasn't it?
It's weird. And I think his speech was odd. You know, if I had that situation, first of all, I never would have handled it that way. But if I did make that mistake, I would get literally, not literally, figuratively, on my hands and knees and say, I really owe you an apology. I was so embarrassed. I didn't want to talk about it. I feel terrible.
Yeah,
I think he should be run out of office on a rail. Run out of office on a rail. Again, he missed all these important votes. He kept his pay. He traded stocks, on and on. Something is rotten, and rules have to change. It wasn't that way when I was there. I'll be honest. It wasn't. It's gotten awful.
All right. Former Senator Barbara Boxer, good to talk to you about this tonight. Thank you.
Nice to see you, Chris.